Hey guys, how's it going? We've got your October Tabata style workout coming your way. All you're going to need are your beautiful bodies. Let me just go ahead and take this out of my pocket, and there we go. Alright, so you've got 20 seconds on the clock, 10 seconds in between. I'm going to kick this timer off, and all we're going to do here, I'm going to show you the first exercise. We've got your high plank with a deep lunge. So you're going to stay in that high plank, palms flat on the ground, bring that knee around the outside, try to get it in line with the shoulder / elbow, and then bring it back. Now if that's not for you, you can bring it up to standing, come into the deep lunge, and place those palms flat on the ground. Now, if you find that's not for you, maybe reach around the leg instead, as you can see as I did on the other leg and right here with this one. And if you find your palms being flat is too much, feel free to go ahead and just let those fingertips tap. But next up, we've got your alternating side lunge. So drive your hips back, weight in your heel of the bent knee, keeping this going for 20 seconds. Now you want to try to keep your chest up, eyes out in front of you. Sometimes we let our gaze kind of drift down to the toes. That happens sometimes regardless of where you're looking. Do not let your knees track over the toes. Here's a side view for you. Keep this going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Next up, we've got your high to low planks, or low to high planks. Doesn't really matter which order you do them in. Just keep this going. Start on the forearms. This can be done from the knees. This also can be done from the toes. And if you're doing this from the toes and say the ground is just too intense for you, feel free to go ahead and take it to the wall. We've only got 10 more seconds of this before we jump into our alternating reverse lunge. Keeping this going, core nice and tight, belly button to that spine for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bringing it up to standing, we've got that alternating reverse lunge, so go ahead, drive that heel back, land on the ball of that foot, come right back up. Now you can get that lunge with that reach away, keeping that rear leg straight. That'll keep the knees nice and safe, but if you want to up the intensity, drop the knee to the ground and keep that chest up, hands on the hips for that added balance. Keeping this going for 8 more seconds. 5 seconds to that high Spider-Man planks in 3, 2, 1, and we're back down on the ground. So from here, you're going to stay in that high plank or low plank, bringing that knee round the outside, driving the elbow to the elbow and knee to the elbow and ending it from there. Now remember, as you're doing this, you're not trying to plant the foot. It's really more so about that external rotation of the hips as well as that core stability and that oblique work. This can be done from the knees as well as from the hands. If you're doing this from the knees, I do recommend you do come up on the hands to go ahead and help with that mobility, making things a little bit easier. Alright, 10 more seconds and we are back at the top. High plank with that deep lunge. Let's see it. Now you can always come out of that lunge altogether, plant the heel, come up. This will up the intensity, force you to drive those hips forward a little bit. Otherwise, keep those hands on the ground. Just shift the hips as you kick that foot back. You've got your alternating side lunges coming up next. Chest up, sit down on the one side, come up, down on the other side, come up. Now remember to drive those hips forward at the top of that lunge, keeping this going for 15 more seconds. You're almost through. Now with this side view, you'll notice that I try to keep my knees from tracking over my toes and my hips kick back regardless of where I am or which side I'm going to first. Remember, hips go back first and then I bend at the knee. Alright, next up we have got your alternating your low to high planks. Again, remember this can be done from the toes, the knees, and you just want to make sure you keep your eyes out in front of you. Just beyond those fingertips, you can see right here, come down, come up, come down, come up. Keep it going for 3, 2, 1. Alright, we've got your alternating reverse lunges. Now, this can be done with that straight leg to keep the knees nice and soft. That reach away is going to open up your hips. You'll notice I try to keep my legs in line with my hips as I step them back, keeping this going. Now, same thing goes for when I drop the knee. You'll notice that hip line is still in line with the knee. Keep this going for 10 more seconds. You're almost through. Keep it going for 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, we've got your Spider-Man style planks. Now remember, this can be done from high or low. Your call, ladies and gentlemen, your call. You want to bring those knees around the outside to that elbow, Remember, this can be done from the low plank, the high plank, the toes, the knees. It can be done on the wall as well. That way you can go ahead and pretend to be the wall crawler himself. Keeping this going for 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Alright, we are back at the top with our last set of this one, folks. We have got your high plank to a deep lunge. Planting those hands flat on the ground, making sure you've got that perfect line of shoulder, elbow, and wrist. Plant the heel, drop the hip as you do so. Maybe even look up, outwards, away from you. You'll notice my gaze starts right in front of my fingertips here, but then as this progresses, I will look up and away from the body, dropping those hips towards the ground. Keeping this going for 2, 1, and we have got your alternating side lunge. So remember, feet right outside of that hip line. Drop the hips behind you and then drop them down. You got 15 seconds on the clock. Keep it going for 10 more. 10 more. You're almost through. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, coming up next, we've got your alternating reverse lunge. Oh my gosh, I can't get these right. You want your high to low plank. So starting in that high plank, drop down, or maybe in that low plank and coming up. Remember, this can be done from the knees. This can be done from the toes. Whatever works best for you, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever works best for you. 3, 2, 1, done. Alright, we've got your alternating reverse lunges this time. I mean it. Go ahead, step back, keep that rear leg straight to keep the knee safe. Otherwise, drop that knee towards the ground. Keep that chest up. Drive the hips behind you as you come down into these lunges. Keep it going for 15 more seconds. 10. 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, shake out those legs. We've got your Spider-Man style planks. Remember, this can be done from the knees, and if so, try to keep your hands on the ground rather than the low plank. Otherwise, feel free to go ahead, take it low or high plank if the toes are on the ground. Bringing those knees around the outside, keeping it going for just 10 more seconds. You're almost through. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Alright guys, you've got 45 seconds of rest here. Feel free to go ahead, grab that drink of water, shake out those shoulders, maybe get your music all situated, and go from there. In 20 seconds, coming up next, we've got your prisoner style lunge. So you want to get your hands behind the head, maybe setting behind the ears, or if you like, interlock the fingers behind the head, chest up, drop the hip and knee, come up at the other side. Now the main goal here, folks, is you want to go ahead and get that hop in there, kicking this off in 2, 1. Let's go ahead, get this started. Drop that knee to the ground, keeping this going. You want to keep that chest up. Remember, you can step into this, keeping that rear leg straight. This right here, the prisoner style, is in light of keeping your shoulders in check. So if you find that's not for you, feel free to go ahead. Maybe put your hands behind the back. But we're going to jump into your ISO bear crawl. So that's essentially about 3 steps forward in your low bear crawl. You can go ahead and keep this in a duck walk, maybe to the edge of your mat. But otherwise, you want to keep those knees hovering off the ground, walk it back, and then walk it forward. There you go. As one hand moves forward, the other leg moves forward, the other knee drives forward as well. Keeping this going for 7 more seconds, and then we're jumping into your reverse lunge with a kick through in 3, 2, 1. From here, you're going to step back into that reverse lunge and kick through. Now right here, this is more of a sprinter kick through, so sprint to kick through, keeping that chest up. You want to go ahead and get as high into this as you can. Try to keep your chest up. You don't want to let your chest collapse too far forward. Reach for the opposite toe as you drive that heel out, keeping it going. Now if you find this isn't for you, maybe reach a little bit higher. The toes are too low, aim for the shins. The shins are too low, aim for the knees. Keep it going for 2, 1. Alright, you've got your Heisman with a squat thrust, so you're going to get that 3-step in one direction, 1, 2, 3. Drop down into that single leg or both leg squat thrust, take it back, 1, 2, 3. Come down, kick it back in. Now, it helps to start on that leg, make sure you lift the knee, and then 1, 2, 3, then drop down into it and repeat. If that's not for you, you can go for just a classic side shuffle with a squat thrust, or you can go for a side shuffle or Heisman with a squat and reach, whatever works best for you for 2, 1. Alright, next up we've got your push-up with a shoulder tap. Here's a front view for you. Hips drawn in, come down, tap the shoulder. Now, the wider your feet, the easier it'll be to keep your hips nice and square on this one, folks. So feel free to go ahead, widen that stance, or maybe even take it down to the knees. 10 seconds, folks, 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Back to the top with your prisoner style jump lunges, ladies and gents. Fingertips behind the ears or interlocking them behind the head. From here, step back into that reverse lunge, drop the knee, maybe just come out of it. If you are feeling ambitious though, that is where that hop comes in. Straight leg switch, keeping this going for 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We've got your sprinter to a kick through, your iso bear crawl coming your way. Sorry. You can go ahead, come down into that squat for your duck walk, or take it down to the ground, letting your knees hover as you walk out about 3 steps, and then walk it back 3 steps. So 1, 2, 3, take it back, 1, 2, 3, walk it back. 7 seconds, 7 seconds, keep it going. 2, 1, alright. Now we are back at the top with your skater, your sprinter to that kick through. Now remember, you want to land on the ball of your foot, but you want to drive the heel out in front of you. Now you can reach for the toe, you can reach for the shin if that's too low, you can just go ahead and pump the arms through this one, folks. You've only got 13 more seconds, nothing you haven't already done. Keeping this going for the final 10. 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, we're back at that Heisman with that squat thrust. Remember, you want to drive the inside knee, get that 3 steps, and maybe even plant it before you get that squat thrust. 1, 2, 3 with that side shuffle if you're not digging that. Keeping this going. Final 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, we've got that push-up with that shoulder tap coming at you in just a few seconds. Remember, the wider your feet, the easier it is to keep your hips from rotating. But that is the whole point, folks, to work not only on that chest and that shoulder stability, but also that hip stability as well. So maybe walk your feet in a little bit, even those knees if you're getting it done from there instead. Keeping this going. 4, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, we are back at the top with your prisoner style lunges. Last one. Remember, fingertips behind the ears or interlocking those fingers behind the head. Maybe even behind the back if you're not digging, taking it all the way up to those shoulders. Maybe you've got a shoulder issue. You're going to keep this going for just 10 more seconds, and then we are moving on to the next one. With those iso bear crawls, here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, taking it down to the ground. If you're not taking it to the floor, you can get that duck walk. Keep your hips low, walk it forward, walk it back. Otherwise, take it down to the ground, letting those knees hover. Step it on out, step it back in. Right to the edge of the mat. Keep it going. Three, 2, 1. Nice job, nice job. Alright, coming up next, we've got your sprint to that kick through. Now, I'm going to let you know when you hit halfway, so go ahead, pick your side, and get started. We've only gone through 3 times. Here we are with that pump arms movement, that pump arm action. And here we go, 2, 1, halfway, switch sides. Feel free to go ahead, just spin it around, bam, kick it through. Try to get that leg as high as the hip, as low as you need it to be comfortable. 2, 1, done. All right, we've got your push-up with a shoulder tap, your Heisman's with a squat thrust. I apologize. Remember, raising the inside knee before getting started really does help with that actual coordination on this one. So come up, tuck in the knee, take it on over, or if you're not digging all of that, feel free to go for the side shuffle with the squat thrust. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we've got your push-up with a shoulder tap. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, chest up, core tight, and as you come down into it, lead with that chest and chin looking out in front of the palms or maybe as far as your neck will allow. Tap your shoulder at the top of the push-up, right back down, and repeat. If that's not for you, this can be done from the knees or toes, and you can just rep out those shoulder taps. Here we go. Final 7 seconds. Keep it going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. You're all set. Get that drink of water. Nice job, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, if you like what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe right here on YouTube at Trim and Tone. That right there was your October Tabata circuit. Way to make time for you today. If you guys want to see more of my antics on Instagram, feel free to follow me at Nerd Coach Fury. And if you want to hear the method behind the fitness, listen close for the podcast of Nerd Coaching with yours truly. With that said, folks, have a great rest of your day. Slow down if you have to. Speed up if you can, but never, ever stop.